In 2013, North Carolina Emergency Management received a grant from the North Carolina Council for Developmental Disabilities to assist individuals with developmental disabilities become more prepared around disasters. As we were looking at a variety of programs across the country, there was one that truly stood out that we could use to help people during disasters, during the response phase. We went to California to evaluate their program and brought it back here to North Carolina and decided it fit very nicely with our Human Services Coordination Center, and that's part of our Emergency Operations Center. So those folks that are concerned about the shelters and the mass feeding, etc., this is exactly where they fit in. And this program was the FAST, Functional Assessment Support Teams. We brought it to North Carolina in 2017, and we started developing the program and making it North Carolina centric. After that, we started training, and we started inviting FAST members into the shelters during disasters and beginning that process of assisting people that need the most help during disasters. The FAST team, the Functional Assessment Support Team, is a team of trained professionals in the social service and human service field, and their job is to go into shelters and other disaster service centers during hurricanes, during other disasters, and to assess people within those shelters for access and functional needs, for resources, for services, whether it's an interpreter, whether it's a personal care assistant, or whether it's a wheelchair that they might need, so they can remain independent in the shelters. In the event of emergency, we will get requests from the field, from a variety of different counties who are opening shelters, that they would want a FAST team, a functional assessment support team, to come and assist in their shelters. So these teams are made up of professionals in the social service and human service field, so maybe someone from the Center for Independent Living, someone from the Division for Services of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, someone who is a social worker, someone who works with the Aging and Adult Services, a variety of different backgrounds. These teams come together with their various expertise, and they will come into the shelters and they will assess, observe, see if there's anyone that has overt needs, and then assess if there's people that have maybe unmet needs that they're not quite ready to ask for. They'll stay as long as they're needed. It could be anywhere from 3 days up until 5 days, till 7 days, depending on the nature of the disaster or the nature of the request. At the end of that, they will then demobilize, come home, debrief, and get ready for the next disaster. To qualify to be a member on the FAST team, you must have at least 2 years of professional experience in the social service or human services field. You also must have a commitment to do some basic training beforehand, including a one-day training on FAST, and then do some ongoing and updating of your training on a quarterly basis. There's also a background check, and this is standard for anyone that goes into an area that has some vulnerable populations in there. Aside from that, a willingness to help people in their time of need during a disaster.